Now, because we may want to change things around a little bit as to how fast this guy moves, I'm going to create a variable, and that variable is going to be this guy's speed. Okay, so how do we create a variable? Come over here to the variables dot, and when you click on that, come up here to make a variable. And we get this little box, and we can type in the word speed. Okay, and we'll leave it for all sprites. Click OK. So now we have a speed variable. Now you'll notice up here, as soon as we put that variable in, you'll remember this if you did the lesson on keeping score. Up here it was called score, now it's called speed. I really don't need to show that up here because right now his speed, I'm going to set it to 3. So I'm going to come over here and uncheck speed, and that disappears. It's still there, but I'm just not showing it. Okay, so there's my speed variable, and the first thing I'm going to tell it to do when the simulation starts is I'm going to set my speed to 3. Okay, so I'm going to grab this block, set my variable to 0. I'm going to put it in right up here at the top, right under the green flag, and I'm going to select speed. There we go. Now, what do I want to set it to at the beginning? I want to set it to 3, so I'm going to have to type 3 in here. All right, so we've got 3. Now, how am I going to use that variable? I'm going to use it right down here where it says move how many steps. So the way I do that is come over here and I grab speed and I put it right in there. So now our code is a little bit more complicated where we've added speed as a variable. Okay, and we can try it. We can see, is this going to change anything? Not really. There we go. So our speed is about the same. If I click start again, it'll go in a different direction, and so on. Okay, let's take our next step. I need more than one cell. So how do I create multiple cells? Well, I could do it the same way that I created multiple sprites, multiple costumes. I could right-click on this, and I could duplicate it, but I would have to do that lots and lots and lots of times, and that would really take up an awful lot of time, and it's sort of messy, but there's a really easy way to do it, and that is to come over here to Control, and if you scroll down, I can create a clone of myself. Yeah, a clone. I've always wanted to create a clone of myself, but unfortunately nobody at home wants me to do that. They think there are enough of me right now. So I'm going to grab this, and we're going to do it with cells instead of Bill. I'm going to create a clone of myself, and I want 10 cells. So what I'm going to do is create a clone of myself inside of a loop. So I'm in the right place for a loop. And here it is, repeat 10 times. So I'm going to repeat 10 times. I'm going to create a clone of myself. Okay. So that means if you're doing your math, how many will there be after this happens? There will be 11, because there's the original me, and then there are the 10 clones. Okay. I'm going to put this up under where I set my speed. Okay, so I'm going to drag this up, 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 and you see everybody moves out of the way when I get there. So now I set my speed to 3, I make 10 of myself, I go to a random position, point in a random direction, and I start moving. So let's see what happens. Here we go. You ready? Hit the green flag. Boom, yeah! Wow. Okay, there's something wrong. I don't like this. I'm going to stop this, okay? I'm going to try it again. Here we go. You ready? Go! Oh. Well, what's wrong? Can you figure it out? What's wrong is the fact that while we've created 10 clones of myself, they're all piled on top of each other and they don't move. So we're going to have to do two things. We're going to have to put them in different places around the screen, and we're going to have them start moving. Now, we could write a whole bunch of code for each one of those guys, but there's a really cool piece of code already built into Scratch down here a little bit, and that is when I start as a clone. Okay, so when I start as a clone, I want to do this. Well, what do we want to do? Well, I want to go to a random position. Wow, I've got that code right here. And I want to point in a random direction. So what I'm going to do is take this code, make a copy of it, and move it over here. Okay, I'm going to do that by right-clicking on Go to Random Position and duplicate. All right, so I now have a duplicate, and I'm going to drag it over here, and I am going to grab this, take a look at it, stop this guy from moving, and let's kind of analyze this code. When I start as a clone, I want to go to a random position. I want to point in a random direction. You can't quite see that, but it's there. Okay? And I want to move at a speed of 3, and if I hit the edge, I want to bounce. Okay, so now let's see what happens if we do this and we go through the cloning process here. So I'm going to hit the green flag. Boom. Yeah, there they go. Look at them. All moving all over the place. Okay, if yours is not moving like that, go ahead and stop. Go back. Make sure your code looks like this. Okay, you can kind of see it here. All right, can everybody see that? You know that that's 360, it's the same as this one. So I'm going to go ahead and stop. Okay, so get your code looking just like this. Go ahead and pause, we'll wait for you, and then we'll move on to the next step.